You're on.
So, if you're anything like me, you love stories, like not just books. I love movies and plays and musicals. That's something that I've always really adored. So, back in the fall, when 20 Time was first introduced to us, my choices were between teaching my dog how to bark at different octaves so it sounds like he's saying I love you, or to actually write and finish a book. And obviously I chose the latter. And from there, the issue wasn't really what should I write about. It was more of which book should I actually finish, because I come up with so many different ideas on such a daily basis, from walking or driving in a car or sleeping, for instance, which is where I got the topic for this book, from a dream. And I had to choose which book I was actually going to finish, because like my ideas for books, I have so many books that I've started, but they just haven't gone anywhere. So for my 20 Time, I decided that it might be good to have a fresh slate. And next slide. And start off new with an entirely new book. And I called it The Water Child, because it was about a girl who was born to a king and queen, a princess, if you will, and she was born premature, and she was desperately and hopelessly ill, to quote my book. And her parents searched for doctors to find a cure, but when the doctors in their kingdoms reaching far throughout the realms couldn't find anything, they decided to go to a more supernatural level. They went to a water spirit, the Great Water Spirit, and asked the Great Water Spirit to heal their child. And the Great Water Spirit did that. And the water that touched the infant was sentient water. So when it touched her, it imprinted on her. So the Great Water Spirit allowed it to sort of travel around with her as like a little ball of water kind of thing, and they embark on different adventures. And that's what my book is about. And when I first started writing, I was writing so much. I was writing pretty much every day for so many hours. I was writing poetically and profoundly and mostly grammatically accurate, and I was having so much fun with it too. I thought this was it. This was going to be the book that I was actually going to finish, and then from there I would publish it and I would actually become an author. And then I hit a wall. I had writer's block several times that stretched for very long periods. I was totally unmotivated. It became a chore to write my book, and I really hated it. So I decided not to write or work on it at all, and days turned into weeks, turned into months, when my characters were frozen in their scenes, their arms outstretched for a story, an adventure I was supposed to write for them, and I just didn't want to. And I felt like I had let them down, and I felt like I had let myself down, and anyone else who encouraged me to become an author in the past. I really hated myself for choosing this topic. Like, why couldn't I have just chose to teach my dog how to talk? Why am I putting myself through this if it's making me so unhappy? And then I started to thinking, is this something I really want to do with my life? Am I doing this because I'm really happy here, or am I doing this because, well, this is what I've been comfortable with for so long? Am I doing it habitually, which is a word I'm sure you're all acquainted with? Of the nature of a habit, fixed by or resulting from a habit, is what the word means. And I really started to believe that it was just out of habit, and because I'm a creature of habit, we all are, I wanted to explore new hobbies that I'm good at, or more importantly, what hobby am I capable of doing that is going to make me the most money? What can I do that's going to put me in the best place financially? And I became consumed by that. I started only focusing on that, and it was terrible, really, because you always hear adults saying things like, if you're not doing a profession that you love to do, then you're not living a life worth living. And I thought that I knew that. And I felt really silly that my own happiness was just an afterthought in my mind, that I was so focused on a hypothetical piece of paper. And so I started decluttering, which is something that people do often during spring cleaning around your house. It's where you go around your home and you find different objects and you ask yourself, does this make me happy? And if it makes you happy, you keep it. And if it doesn't, you just pitch it. And I realized, though, you can't do that with everything in your house, say, like bills. You can do that with your life. So I decided to declutter my life. So I asked myself, Sasha, does writing really make you happy? Sometimes, on days when I actually want to do it, on days when I can write like this. The wispy sea wind, knowledge, and shimmering waves were things Desmond didn't mind carrying with her. They were so magnificent to hold. They almost made her forget why they were at sea to begin with. But every night, after sweet dreams were wished and good night said, the things she had collected fell out of her, and she was reminded of doom. Though she hated to admit it, she was also reminded of her parents. Those memories seemed so delicate, too frail to lift the same way she used to. They hauntingly cast dark shadows through her, and every night she became an abandoned castle where they could lurk with the cobwebs and the yellowed books in the disheveled library. Some nights she was too hollow to fall asleep, but on those nights Lemon would curl up beside her and Mandarin Orange would tell her about his seafaring adventures. On days when I can write like that, I really love writing, but those days are really hard to come by now, so I'll put it in the maybe pile. Sasha, does music make you happy? Listening to it most of the time makes me happy. I'm sure we all have a sad song playlist, but sometimes, like as a hobby, sometimes I get really frustrated when my fingers don't fit the chords I want them to as perfectly, or my voice doesn't sing the way I want it to. And on days like that, I feel really frustrated. So I guess I'm putting that in the maybe pile as well. Sasha, does art make you happy? Yes, always. So I encourage all of you to declutter your life every once in a while. You might find things that were just afterthoughts. Thank you.